Welcome to Game Over, Kids Are Up. Before we get started, let's do a dad joke. Of all the inventions in the last 100 years, the dry erase board has to be the most remarkable. Alright, let's get going. 5 weird omissions from Hogwarts Legacy. Look, I love Hogwarts Legacy. It's a great game and it does so many things right, and there's a ton of fan service in it. But having said that, there are some weird things that they left out of the game that really just kind of make me raise my eyebrows and question what they were thinking on these. So let's get started. The first weird omission is no Quidditch. No Quidditch. What were they thinking? It's such an important part of the books and the movies. And, I think a lot of people when this was announced would have been really excited about this specifically. But the developers, I think pretty early on, had said that they were not going to have Quidditch. I mean, I can understand it from their perspective, right? Like it's taking, it's already a large project and it's kind of having to create a whole bunch of different mechanics that are not going to be used anywhere else. So I get it from a complexity standpoint, but just from the fact that it's a Harry Potter video game, it's just such a miss to not have that. And it's baffling that they wouldn't. Like, they implemented really good flight mechanics for riding your broom around. It's a ton of fun to fly. You can upgrade your broom and it can go faster, and there's like speed boosts and things you can get, and obviously there's the races that you can do where you're doing time trials through hoops and things like that, which is fun. But it's just such a bummer that they didn't include Quidditch, because it's such a big part of the universe, so it's pretty upsetting. It is fun to fly around the Quidditch pitch because they did create that. I'm glad they did. It would have been crazier if they didn't. So it's nice that they did that. And ultimately, in their defense, they do come up with an in-game reason for why Quidditch isn't in the game. So they at least do that, and they don't ignore it completely. I think that would have made things way worse if they just pretended Quidditch didn't exist. So at least they do that. It doesn't excuse it, but at least they did something to address it. The second one is kind of a 2-for-1. No Dementors and no Patronus charm. Before anyone tries to argue with me about no Dementors, yes, I'm aware that one quest for Hufflepuff has that cutscene with a Dementor in it, but I don't count that as being in the game. This submission feels particularly strange because Dementors are probably one of the more well-known creatures in the Harry Potter universe, and they're just so iconic and scary. And then you have the Patronus charm, which is probably the most iconic spell in the Harry Potter universe. It's the one that even people who aren't fans are aware of. It's a situation where if you're not going to include one, it makes sense not to include the other. But it just seems strange that they didn't. Would have been cool if there was like a quest or something to learn the Patronus charm. And up until that point, you weren't able to actually fight Dementors. You had to kind of just run away. But that's just a thought. I have to assume that in the inevitable sequel that Dementors and the Patronus charm will probably be featured. But I don't know, that's just speculation. The third omission, and it's another 2-for-1, is the fact that there's no wizard's chess and no gobstones. Now, both are referenced in the game, and you can see students playing wizard's chess, and you can do a quest for somebody to get their gobstones back. But it seems strange that they didn't create some mini games surrounding these. Just, again, seems like a missed opportunity for something. Especially when you consider the fact that they made that Summoner's Court thing, which was, quite frankly, not super great, right? Wasn't exactly a super interesting, fun to play minigame. Whereas these ones could have been. By no means a huge deal. It just seems odd that they wouldn't have taken the opportunity to do that. I can't imagine it would have been too difficult to just make a mini chess game with the pieces, attacking each other as they do. Maybe gobstones would be more difficult to implement. I'm not entirely sure, but it would have been nice if they had have made the effort. The fourth weird omission is one that's more of a missed opportunity for an Easter egg. And this is the fact that while there are ghosts in the game, when you walk through them, nothing happens. Which is interesting because in the books, it's supposed to be like walking through a cold shower. It's supposed to really kind of have an impact on you. But in the game, nothing happens. And I just, it's obviously this is a very, very minor detail, very minor omission. It just seems funny because they had such attention to detail at certain things, but they forgot this one little thing. And it's a shame because it would have been such a nice little touch. So, maybe next time. Frankly, it was one of the first things that I did when I started exploring. I think it was Nearly Headless Nick of all the coasts. And I ran up and ran right through them and nothing happened. And I just said, "Ah, no." But, they can't do everything, obviously. The fifth and final omission that I wanted to talk about in this video, and before I say what it is, I just have to say that this one, other than Quidditch, this one probably annoyed me the most because it was just such a silly thing to not include. I couldn't believe that they didn't do this. I was so surprised that they included Acromantula, the big giant spiders that you see in Chamber of Secrets and kind of in other spots in the series as well. But they included it, which was amazing. I'm so glad they did. It was a surprise because up until that point, you had just kind of seen regular spiders. Big spiders, but regular spiders. And this is finally, you get to see an Acromantula, which are like the big, popular fan favorite type ones. And they didn't give them the ability to speak. Like, that's what they're known for. They're these big spiders that can actually speak. And they didn't give them lines in the game. I couldn't believe it. That really, really bothered me. Because, if you're not going to have them talk, which is like their iconic thing, why did you include them? Right? Like, just why? Why was that not done? That really bothered me. Really, really bothered me. I couldn't believe it. I have no idea if that'll get rectified in the sequel, and even if Acromantula will even be in the sequel, but if they are, I really, really hope they have them talk. It would be so cool and make them so much creepier if they actually were, yelling at you as they were attacking you, trying to, scare you even more. Thank you so much for watching the video. Let me know what things you thought were omitted that shouldn't have been in the comments. And to add all the usual boilerplate stuff at the end, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that bell if you like the content that I'm making. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.